There's always something goes wrong because we're delayed a little bit. Our designated judge for this Agricultural Shows Queensland National Championship, he's had another appointment that he's had to go to, so we've had to co-opt another judge, but we've got a very experienced one in Mr. Marty Rowlands from Marty's with the KBV, or is the principal of KBV Simmental Stud. But he was also the winner of the National Championship, I think, in 2006. So we're fortunate to have Marty close by, and he'll do the job for us this afternoon.
The Gender View Invitational Bull Sale will offer 65 industry-relevant Limousin and Angus bulls at the Coolabunga Sale Yards, August 15th. Semen and morphology tested, fully vaccinated, a bull for everyone. Contact your preferred GDL agent. The Gender View Invitational Bull Sale will offer 65 industry-relevant Limousin and Angus bulls at the Coolabunga Sale Yards, August 15th. Semen and morphology tested.
just on its way out. Thanks to JBS for their support in providing that display also earlier in the day. These cattle are probably getting a little bit tired too, because they would have been down here and paraded earlier on. The Charolais judging was in this ring earlier in the day, so these cattle would have been down, could have been here for a couple of group classes and that sort of thing, so they're probably starting to get a bit tired too, like the rest of us. As I mentioned earlier on, these cattle judged earlier on in the day. The Charolais judging commenced here at 8 o'clock this morning, so they've been around for a long time. I would like to express the RNA's. Hello, we're swapping cattle now. The RNA's appreciation to the owners and exhibitors of these cattle for allowing us to use their cattle in this paraders competition. And I'd like you to show your appreciation too, ladies and gentlemen. How about a big round of applause for our exhibitors? Righto. I mentioned earlier on, Ian, our sound guy, showed me a member's badge from the Royal National Association from 1929. He said that'll be the oldest one going around. It was his grandfather's. But Jacqueline Wilson Smith here, our chair of the Ag Shows Australia, has shown me one that she's got around her neck. It wasn't hers, but it's been handed down. It's dated 1926. So it goes back a long time, and it either belonged to J.J. Delahunty, who was one of the early people here at the Ekka, and we're celebrating 150 years of Ekka. He was a pharmacist at the show for many years, J.J. Delahunty. However, he could have been at Leo's at the University of Queensland around about that 1926 time. Well, the other possible owner may have been Mr. Murphy, who was the parent of Jennifer, who handed this medal or badge, I should say, Jennifer Perra, who handed this badge to Jacqueline, and she's wearing it as a bit of jewellery here today. But that's just a little bit of extra history of the Royal National. We're celebrating, as I said, 150 years of Ekkas, and I feel like I've probably been here for half of them. But anyway, it's great because I love it. That sounded like a popular win. Brought their own cheer squad. Number 4, she got her armband. Right, you brought your own cheer squad up from Victoria, apparently, Jade. Jade Grills, the Victorian champion, is now the national champion. Congratulations, Jade. No. What's your number? Number 1, yeah. Fletcher Weatherall from Western Australia is the reserve champion, reserve national champion. So Jade Grills from Victoria, the national champion, and Fletcher Weatherall from Western Australia, the reserve champion. And I'll call on Marty Rowlands now to give us his reasoning for those selections.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And look, this was a very last-minute ring-in for me, and it's always a great pleasure to judge our next generation. And it's really important for me that that we do have that right next generation, and it's really great for us to be supporting them where we can, and to have events like this is certainly really important for our sector. We have some incredible paraders here, there's no doubt about that. Swapping paraders is not something I would normally do in a paraders competition, but it is something that is required by the national. So that is not something that I would normally do. But, you know, we were already between a rock and a hard place when you got an animal that you hadn't had the ability to work with, but they still wanted me to swap them regardless. So, look, we have a representative here from every state in Australia. And you know, and it's clear that we have some extremely capable people here. The young lady that I've given the national champion to is that she didn't place a step wrong, and when we did swap her, she took the time to take a step around the animal, and I admire that. When you take a little bit of time just to stop and step and have a look at the constitution of that heifer, and then try and work out how you're going to parade that heifer toward before the judge or before those around her. And she took that little bit extra time just to make sure that she was going to be in control, and she certainly was. There's no doubt. She's a clear winner here today, and she done a marvellous job. And there's no doubt that she's Australia's best this year. And the young fella that I had in my reserve, I just wish they were a little bit lighter on those leads when we're not getting a response, that we just give a slight pull and release, rather than a jerk. Okay, so these are small things that may help down the track, particularly with cattle that you're not aware of and you're not sure of what those cattle are like. The slighter the movements, the better it is for yourselves if you're pulled into this situation again. Congratulations to everybody that's participated. You've come a long way, right? You're representing your state, and it's quite an achievement. And you should all be extremely proud. And it looks like we're all young enough to go again. So go back, go again, try again, come back, and keep ticking those boxes. It's really important that you stick with it, don't give up, get better, and come back again. So congratulations to everyone, and thanks for the late ringing, guys.
Thanks for stepping in at such a late notice, Marty. And again, a big thank you to now to our exhibitors of these heifers, magnificent lineup of Charolais heifers. So a big thank you to those exhibitors for allowing us to use them for this very important judging here this afternoon. I don't think, unless they need